everyone, welcome to my review of the Hoth ATST. Now, I haven't made a video in a while, but, let's get a set review which really matches the season currently. Now, this is set 75322. This is going for the first part of the January line because they have had some serious delays, but this comes with 586 pieces and is quite nice and a big contrast compared to previous ATSTs such as the Marauder or the Rogue One edition. Now, this does come with the ATST driver, Chewbacca, and a Hoth Rebel Trooper, which you can get more of in the now currently delayed set. But if we go to the back of the box, which does have these pins, and they are very not fun when it comes to preserving the boxes. But you can see it rotates, you can open it up, you can fire the spring-loaded shooters, and you can move the legs. Pretty standard for most ATSTs, if not all of them. Maybe some of the earlier ones didn't have it like this. But we also get the probe droid here, which is semi-character. It's very nice. Also, it's gray now instead of black in previous iterations, which does match the redesign that they did for the buildable figure version, which is quite nice. Into the rest of the review, I thought it would be a good thing to point out the new progress bar that they added. Interesting concept, but also if we flip to the back of it, it also shows the completion stuff, but we can see the other sets like the Razor Crest Microfighter, which I have reviewed, Snow Troop Battle Pack, which I still do not own, and the other Hoth sets. Interesting tidbit, thought I'd include it. Probe Droid is very interesting figure in the fact that he does have a circular head, and, he does have a lot of details. He's got a lot of eyes, a satellite just to connect with everything. He's got a big turret at the front, which is very nice. He doesn't have any sticker details, nor are there any stickers in the set, which is definitely a plus for people that don't like stickers. You can rotate the top of its head. However, do be warned that these side panels, because of the way that they're attached, makes it a bit more annoying to use. However, he does have 4 little grabby arms, which are quite nice. You can put a blaster there if you want to, or just some other tools to help him sabotage or recon some areas. Next up, we got Chewbacca, who's his usual furry self, with the little bit of, I think it's a bandolier that, travels across with his, extra ammo, I believe it is. And he's got his, fur details with the light brown and brown, but exclusive to this set, I believe. I don't own or have not seen a snowy Chewbacca before, so I do not know if it's exclusive, but you do get a bunch of white spots and a bit of snow covering his feet, just to kind of symbolize or not symbolize, but to show that he's in the snow. The back has the continuation of the bandolier and a little bit less snow, and there's no snow on the top of his head or really on the back, just on the fur coat, but it's still a nice touch to kind of give some exclusivity to the Chewbacca, which we've seen many times before. Next is the ATST driver, which has some leg printing to kind of finish off his cloak, or not cloak, but the coat that he's wearing. It's a very nice coat, just pristine white with a bit of gray for the trousers, and then you've also got some little bit of pockets on his belt, which really make his look come together. He does get himself a mini blaster and some binoculars to help him drive. This isn't like some of the other ATSTs where he does have some help manning it, but there's one seat, so it doesn't really make too much difference. But he also has a little bit of back printing to kind of finish up the coat and his belt. He does have a nice helmet, which is more of a commander's, but he does have the glasses at the top, which kind of help there, just refine the look. And he's also got the strap that goes around his neck, or upper chin, whether you want to put it that way or that way. And then if we turn him around, he does have a second pace, which is much more happy rather than angry at the Rebel. Not least is the Rebel Trooper. Now, this is a female Rebel Trooper with quite a tan. Now, they do have just some standard white legs, but they do get themselves that, what is it, the Etch-a-Sketched, or cross-stitched, coat there, which looks very nice. It's got that dark tan, which matches with the dark tan helmet that they have. It's a very nice figure. It also has the backpack, which is associated with these troopers, and these troopers look fairly good, unless you realistically go ahead and detach the glasses and then you put them on the face, because that just looks extremely silly and oversized. However, if you do move it back over to the top of the head, it looks fairly decent and like it's meant to be there. There is a back face that we can look at. If I can take it off, I am being a bit sloppy with this review, I understand, but there's an angry face and a happy face, like you would expect with most double-sided characters, and the more of the cross-stitching on the back. For most people is definitely going to be the redesigned ATSD, and even if you do have a previous ATSD, like the one from 2016, I think that this might be an interesting pickup for you, especially with all the Hoth sets currently available. The interesting thing about this is the feet, for sure. They are a lot bulkier than previous iterations. I am going to keep coming back to the Marauder because that's the most recent ATSD that came out prior to this one, and the feet are a lot smaller. Most of the general detailing is the same throughout the legs. Not much has really changed there, if anything, except for like a few subtle differences, but for the most part, realistically identical, except for like bar a few minor changes. The like body or like intersection point is definitely different. You definitely have more like wiring and bulkiness to the Marauder compared to the Imperial one, which is definitely light, to put it on detail there. It does have a lot more in the front cavity with these like shields and then some wiring there, but this one definitely uses the whip pieces to its advantage in having like actual cabling. And so that brings us to the head, which is definitely the most interesting part about it, because if we start off here with the newer one, we got the redesigned cannon, which is definitely interesting and works a lot better with these new with these sphere pieces, and is definitely a lot lighter and definitely bends in a lot more than this one, which is a lot bigger and has sticker details, and also the cannon is definitely a lot bigger. And I think the cannon on this one aesthetically looks better. However, it is a lot more annoying because of the way that these spheres are attached. Now, if we go to the other side, we got the cannon. And the cannon on this one is definitely very interesting in the fact that aesthetically it looks very decent. It's very symmetrical, very clean. However, practically, it's very annoying to really adjust it so that it's perfect, whereas the newer one, although it's not very symmetrical, it definitely looks and feels very nice, and it also has this way of just correcting itself, although there are a few moving bits specifically with the plating that comes up, and a few other things, but generally it's a lot easier to use, especially with the new sphere pieces, which definitely just make it a lot better. Now, if we move over to the front and top, the hatch has stayed the same on both of them, except for like minor differences. But definitely the overall structure is much different. You've got a lot more top on the old one than the newer one. This still works the same. You've still got the same basic functions. However, it is a lot more difficult to pick it up on the older model, and they are designed a little bit differently, not that that really matters. Also, the railings on both of them are a lot different. This one has a lot smaller railings, as you can see. Only really goes from like the front to the halfway, while this one goes all the way to the back, basically. And this one actually has hinges so that you can grab on, hold people there, whereas this one doesn't. If we open it up now, there is a spot for the binoculars and gun. Well, this one has a lot more interior space. It has a gun clip, and a lot of really unused space. You have a room for a singular pilot, or if you want to make up that space, you can have two, and even a third one if you clip another character onto there. So this one has a lot of interior space, whereas the way this one's designed, it's a really compact cockpit, so that it has this really squared-in design, where it's just really tiny, and it's definitely a jarring contrast where these look very similar, yet you can definitely tell that this one's much more downsized, which I think actually works really well for the set that this is supposed to be based off of. Now, the front, actually, I think is a nice change, because I don't really like these gaps in the eyes. They make sense, however, I feel like these just eyebrow panels can get moved around a lot and it just hinders the design. But I think I like the redesigned face better, and I think that the redesigned cannon is a lot easier to use, especially because I know from experience that these tend to fall off a large amount of the time, whether you're just moving it around or using the cannons or just setting them up for display. They get very annoying. But if we move to the back, there is a lot more detail on the newer one, and it just looks better because here we've got a lot of those Technic connectors and just kind of ruins it aesthetically, while this one just stays clean and straightforward, even though it is straightforward, like I said, but it just looks a lot better, and you don't have the backsides of bricks. You just got that tiled off look. So I would say that this one aesthetically performs a lot better, and also the swiveling of the head is a lot easier. You do get a wider array of motions. I don't know if I've built it incorrectly that it does that, because it doesn't do that. In the older model, it's a lot more stiff. So if you do know whether this is correct or incorrect, please do let me know. But the last main feature that we can observe is the legs, and how you can really realistically stretch them all the way to the top, and you can have it looking like a strange chicken. But that's basically what the ATST is. It's just a glorified metal chicken. So I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye. Also, sorry for the delay. I want to help improve things, but things are just not looking good on the video making side, so I hope that I can get back into the swing of things, but hopefully this wasn't too long of a wait. So see you next time. Bye.